To other news now, Ottawa is expected to introduce legislation today that would outlaw conversion therapy. City councils in Edmonton, Vancouver and Calgary have already banned the controversial practice that is intended to change a person's sexual orientation. In their election platform, the Liberals called conversion therapy a scientifically discredited practice that targets vulnerable Canadians. Justice Minister David Lametti and Diversity Minister Bardis Chagar will discuss the proposed amendment to the criminal code at a news conference later on today. Pam Rocker joins me now. She's the director with Affirming Connections in Calgary. Pam, thanks for joining us here on CTV News Channel.
Thanks for having me.
Your thoughts on what's going to be unfolding in the House today with regards to this legislation?
I think it's really important. It's really, I think, affirming for people who are survivors of conversion therapy across Canada to see that this is something that's being taken seriously. So I applaud the municipalities and the provinces that have taken steps to ban these practices locally, but I think that it takes a multi-pronged approach. And so I think it's exciting to see this coming forward, and it's something that looking forward to and fighting for a long time.
You commented it's going to take a multi-pronged approach here, and that's certainly the direction that it's going in, barring, of course, the initial push at one point to have this become a national ban. That's saying that it wasn't appropriate, and it wasn't something that Canada should be allowing. That then moved, of course, to specific jurisdictions and provinces. Knowing that, is there still going to be a push to make it right across the country, or is there still going to be the fight province to province in order to have this completely removed?
I think it really depends on what wording is going to be in the criminal code. So what's going to be approved to be in there. I think if it really is broad and puts a lot of recourse in place so that survivors or folks like me and advocates have a way to prove that it's happening, and also recourse to punish and provide fines and taking away business licenses and that sort of thing will be good. I think on a municipal level, it's really helpful to have bylaws, because those are something that we can enforce locally. So I actually think that it should be barred on all of those different levels, and we can't assume that just one of them will sort of eradicate the practices, because they are so insidious and underground.
Talk to us about what you're hearing from members of the community. So many of them have been fighting for the rights for this. So many of them are trying to explain why conversion therapy isn't the direction anyone should be going in.
I think, I've worked with hundreds of conversion therapy survivors over the last 10 years of my work. And I think the biggest thing that I see in terms of their pain is not being believed that it's happened to them. And also the pain that continues with them, even years, sometimes decades after they've gotten out of those programs, or, been able to come out and live the life that they deserve to live. And so I think it feels really validating that this is something that is coming to the public eye, because I've talked to 65-year-olds who went through it when they were 25, and they really felt like they were alone. But even right now, I talk to teenagers who still feel like they're alone. And I think especially when it happens sort of behind the scenes, especially in faith-based communities, it's really hard for these things to be found, and even much harder for them to be legislated against. So I think making it a very explicit and thorough sort of legal strategy going forward is really going to help more people from becoming further victims of these practices.
And perhaps helping some of those who have perhaps heal, knowing that the future is looking better. All right, Pam Rocker, Director with Affirming Connections. Pam, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.